Our parents always neglected my sibling and me because they wanted boys as their first children. So how did asking my grandfather to walk me down the aisle cause them to quit my wedding? I'm 35 now with two siblings. My sister's 29 and my brother's 19. Growing up with extremely religious parents who cared more about their image than their children destroyed us in ways I'm still unpacking. When my mom found out I was a girl before I was born, she contemplated not having me, but their religion wouldn't allow it. My grandma told me years later that when I was just 2 years old, my mother sent me away because having me around made her depressed. Just 2 years old. Living with my grandparents became the best part of my childhood. My grandpa patiently taught me how to ride a bike. I still remember the thrill of pedaling on my own for the first time. My grandma taught me everything about gardening. We'd spend hours in her backyard planting flowers. Those moments created bonds my parents never attempted to build. I stayed with them until I turned 7. That's when people started questioning why I wasn't living with my parents. So they dragged me back home despite my protests. 3 years later, my parents were over the moon about another pregnancy. Then they found out it was another girl. The disappointment was crushing, but my sister didn't get sent away. She got to stay home. The differences in how they treated us were impossible to miss. I had an endless list of household chores, every surface spotless, every dish washed immediately. My sister barely had any expectations. She could leave her room messy and nobody said a word. School was worse for me. Any grade below an A meant disappointment. They enrolled me in piano, debate, and 3 other activities. When my sister started school, the pressure vanished. She could explore whatever she wanted. When I got into the honor society, my dad gave me a brief nod. When my sister made the volleyball team, they threw a party. 6 years after my sister was born, my brother arrived. They threw a massive feast to celebrate finally having a son. From day 1, he got special treatment. Designer clothes, newest toys, a bedroom from a luxury catalog. They documented every single milestone with professional photos. For my sister and me, there were maybe 5 childhood photos total. As my brother grew up, he was exempt from every chore we had to handle. His birthdays became grand celebrations with expensive parties. My sister finally understood what I'd experienced my entire childhood. We started spending every vacation at our grandparents' place. They became our real parents. When I became a teenager, my parents labeled me a rebel because I had different political beliefs. Anytime I tried to explain, my mom would cry and say I was stressing her out. If I expressed sadness or anger, she'd ignore me for hours. As my sister got older, she developed severe anxiety and panic attacks. My mom refused to get her treatment. When my sister had panic attacks, my mother told her she was being a burden. Then came the breaking point. One night, my parents went on this brutal rant about how we were disappointments and should have never been born. We couldn't take it anymore. We packed our bags and went to our grandparents' house. When my parents showed up demanding we come home, my grandmother scolded them. My dad replied that he provided food and a roof, so what more could we want? That's when my grandpa, the calmest man I've ever known, raised his voice for the first time. He yelled that my father should be ashamed for treating his own children this way. Then he threatened to call CPS if they ever hurt us again. This terrified my parents because they could lose custody of my brother. Grandpa told my mother that she was his daughter, and he'd never treated her this cruelly. So how could she do this to us? My mother's face went red with embarrassment. After that night, things shifted at home. My parents were scared of what Grandpa threatened. The yelling decreased, so my brother still got preferential treatment. Now I'm getting married to an amazing man. When planning started, there was only one person I wanted to walk me down the aisle: my grandfather. The man who taught me to ride a bike, who defended me when no one else would, who actually raised me. My parents are absolutely furious. They're threatening to quit the wedding entirely. My mom's calling me ungrateful. My dad says I'm embarrassing them in front of the extended family. But honestly, let them quit. The people who matter will be there.